Hey there, I'm Michael, and the first person I'll be talking about today is Mohammad Mossadegh. Mossadegh was appointed in 1951 by the Shah after years of rising popularity and political power. Before becoming the Prime Minister, he was elected several separate times to Parliament, and one of those stints in office was after he had retired. Many Iranians regarded him as a leading champion of secular democracy and resistance to foreign domination, especially in its oil sector. Although his impact on oil is the most important part of his legacy, other accomplishments of Mossadegh include unemployment compensation, factory owners were forced to pay benefits to sick and injured workers, and peasants were freed from forced labor in their landlords' estates. But his most notable achievement while in power was the nationalization of the oil industry in Iran. Mossadegh said that the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, the AIOC, as an arm of the British government, was controlling much of Iran's oil, and he wanted to have the industry for the country. His nationalization of the oil industry canceled the country's oil concession and expropriation of assets. On the topic of nationalizing the industry, he said, "Our long years of negotiations with foreign countries have yielded no results thus far. With the oil revenues, we can meet our entire budget and combat poverty, disease, and backwardness amongst our people." Another important consideration is that by the elimination of the power of the British company, we would also eliminate corruption and intrigue, by means of which the internal affairs of our country have been influenced. After the vote for nationalization, Britain started to take action against Iran, mobilizing their military and encouraging an international boycott of Iranian oil. MI6 ordered the deposition of Mossadegh for the CIA to execute. In 1953, CIA performed Operation Ajax, wanting to strengthen the power of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. These consequences resonated with dramatic effect in later years. When the Shah finally fell in 1979, memories of the U.S. intervention in 1953, which made possible under the monarch's subsequent and increasingly unpopular 25-year reign, intensified the anti-American character of the revolution in the minds of many Iranians. This brings us to the next important player in post-World War II Iran, Ali Shariati. Shariati is famous for writing his volume Islamology as a challenge to Mohammad Reza Shah's monarchy in 1968. The text hailed Islam as the fount of cultural sovereignty. It contained a deep love for the Quran and its vision of justice. To Shariati and many Iranians, the coup was a betrayal of democracy. At just 22 years old, he was a leader of the pro-Mossadegh student group at his college. His speeches there called for a republic and drew hundreds of students. In 1954, Shariati was arrested for the first time for painting anti-Shah graffiti on public walls. The Mossadegh group convinced Shariati that only revolution could establish justice in Iran. He embraced Islam as a populist force for change. He focused on the collective power of Muslims to bring justice to society. Justice was a core principle in his thinking, and he knew that justice required no less than a complete inversion of the social order. He envisioned that Islamic revolution would produce a guided democracy where rulers required the consent and consultation of the people. Throughout the years, Shariati gained political clout and popularity within the people. His talks at colleges were cherished and recorded. By the fall of 1971, Tehran was swept up in Shariati fever. His lectures became happenings, and thousands competed to take his courses. In 1972, he revised Islamology for a new course to train intellectuals as a revolutionary vanguard. Backlash came swiftly. The Shah's Secret Service, Savak, called Shariati in for repeated interrogations. He became a key ally of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini in the 1977 to 1979 revolution. Tragically, Shariati died of a massive heart attack at age 41 in 1977. The revolution raged on, however, largely inspired by the man who swept up most of the country with his strong ideals. Thanks for watching. This has been Michael talking about Mohammad Mossadegh and Ali Shariati. Click here to continue, or click here if you're finished to see the outro.